Carrie Lam Cheng Ye NGORGBMGBS is a Hong Kong politician serving as the fourth and current Chief Executive of Hong Kong since 2017 and Chairperson of the Committee for Safeguarding National Security since 2020. She served as Chief Secretary for Administration from 2012 to 2017 and Secretary for Development from 2007 to 2012. After graduating from the University of Hong Kong, Lam joined the British Hong Kong Civil Service in 1980 and served in various government agencies. She became a key official in 2007 when she was appointed Secretary for Development. During her tenure, she earned the nickname, Tough Fighter, for her role in the controversial demolition of the Queen's Pier in 2008. Lam became Chief Secretary for Administration under the Lung Chun Ying administration in 2012. From 2013 to 2015, Lam headed the Task Force on Constitutional Development for the 2014 Hong Kong electoral reform and held talks with student and opposition leaders during the widespread protests in the 2017 Chief Executive selection process. Lam obtained 777 votes from the 1,194-member appointed election committee as the Beijing-favored candidate and became the first female Chief Executive of Hong Kong. Lam's administration has seen controversies, including the trial and imprisonment of democracy activists, the disqualification of several pro-democracy candidates, as well as the criminalization of the pro-independence Hong Kong National Party. Her government was also criticized for raising the qualification age for comprehensive social security assistance and for its handling of the Cross Harbour Tunnel toll plan, among other policies. In mid-2019, Lam's government pushed for a controversial amendment to the extradition law which received widespread domestic and international opposition. Massive protests broke out and persisted throughout the latter half of the year, from demanding the withdrawal of the bill to Lam's resignation among 5 key demands. Lam suspended the bill in June and did not withdraw the bill until September. She also stood firmly against the other demands, including an independent inquiry into police conduct and universal suffrage for Legislative Council and Chief Executive elections. The clashes between the protesters and police escalated, which resulted in more than 9,000 arrests as of July 2020. Lam's popularity also dropped to a historic low, with the pro-Beijing camp suffering the worst landslide defeat in history in the November District Council election. Born Cheng Ye Ngor to a low-income family of Jushan ancestry in Hong Kong, Lam was the fourth of 5 children. Her father was from Shanghai and worked on ships. She was born and grew up in a tenement house on Lockhart Road, Wan Chai, where she finished her primary and secondary education at St. Francis Canisian College, a Catholic girls' school in the neighborhood, where she was head prefect. After graduation, Lam attended the University of Hong Kong. Through her student activism, she came to know Lee Wing Tat and Sin Chung Kai, who later became prominent pro-democrat legislators. She co-organized exchange trips to Tsinghua University in Beijing to better understand society and participate more actively in student activities. She switched her course of study from social work to sociology after the first year to avoid placements. Lam eventually graduated with a Bachelor of Social Sciences in 1980. In 1982, when she was a civil servant, The Hong Kong government funded her studies at Cambridge University, where she met her future husband, mathematician Lam Su Po. Lam joined the administrative service in 1980 after she graduated from the University of Hong Kong. She served in various bureaus and departments, spending about 7 years in the Finance Bureau, which involved budgetary planning and expenditure control. Initially, she worked as Principal Assistant Secretary and subsequently as Deputy Secretary for the Treasury. In the 1990s, in 2000, Lam was promoted to the position of Director of the Social Welfare Department during a period of high unemployment and severe fiscal deficits in Hong Kong. She tightened the Comprehensive Social Security Assistance Scheme, making it available only to people who had lived in Hong Kong for more than 7 years, excluding new immigrants. With other senior officials, she helped set up the We Care Education Fund, raising over 80 million Hong Kong dollars to meet the long-term educational needs of children whose parents died from the SARS epidemic in 2003. In November 2003, Lam was appointed Permanent Secretary for Housing, Planning and Lands and Chairman of the Town Planning Board. She was soon appointed Director General of the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in London in September 2004. On 8 March 2006, Lam returned to Hong Kong to take up the position as Permanent Secretary for Home Affairs. She was involved in the 2008 Beijing Olympics and Paralympics equestrian events and the West Kowloon Cultural District Plan. On 1